Whew, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy RickyMoto, and today we are going for a little ride. We're going to be talking about some modifications that I think are really whack. And we're just going to go on a little stroll around town. It's kind of chilly out, so I'm not going to go on a highway because it's going to be freezing. But yeah, we're going to have a fun little stroll talking about some goofy mods that I don't like. But yeah, anyways, before we get into today's topic, make sure to drop a like and a comment below for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I also have another short announcement, a little update. My fairing kit is coming very, very soon. It is currently in California, so I should be getting it in a few days, and we can do the installation for the fairing kit. I've been kind of hyping it up for like a month now, and the shipment was delayed and whatnot. There was a hurricane, a few weeks ago, so it made it difficult, and all the shipments were slow. But yeah, it's on its way, and I'm really, really excited. Yeah, anyways, in this video today, we're going to be talking about 5 motorcycle modifications that I absolutely hate. And I gotta say that I am also victim to some of these modifications, and I absolutely regret doing it. Not on this bike specifically, but on my previous bikes. Now, the first modification that I think you should not do is getting a crappy, cheap exhaust. That's right, y'all. All of those Alibaba exhausts and the DHgate, eBay exhausts, it's a no-go, I gotta say. Like, sure, you can save some money. Yeah, you can get, the louder pipes and the slight performance boost and whatnot because you have better airflow, but it just sounds bad, like, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. I feel like an exhaust system is often overlooked. People just want loudness, they just want sound. Like, sure, yes, we all like, a loud motorcycle or car, but a performance exhaust isn't just slapped together. There are a group of engineers who are testing and fitting and like really developing the science behind a metal piping. Like, sure, it's literally just a metal pipe, but the way it's bent, the way it's like kind of oriented, the lengths, the widths, the thicknesses, the curvatures, like all of that affects not only the sound but the performance of an exhaust. But the problem with a lot of these cheap exhausts is the fitment and the quality. Obviously you're saving money here, so you're saving on the quality aspect, and I totally understand why people buy cheap exhausts, and I myself have done that before on my Z125 Pro. I bought myself an eBay exhaust. It's obviously due to cost reasons, like you don't want to spend that much money just because, exhaust systems are not cheap. Not only are you going to have a lot of issues with the fitment, not being exactly, snug, you're going to have exhaust leaks. Oftentimes the brackets don't line up and they end up snapping, and then you're going to have to end up replacing that exhaust or repairing the exhaust, which is going to end up costing you even more. So if you want to get an exhaust system for your bike, just shell out the extra money. I really think it's not worth trying to spend like $200-300 to get an exhaust off eBay or an off-brand. It's not going to be reliable, and even the sound is not going to sound that good. My suggestion is, if you want to save money, just get a slip-on exhaust instead of getting a full system. That slip-on is going to cost as much as a full system knockoff, and I'd rather just have a slip-on that's a real brand rather than some knockoff full system. The next modification that I absolutely cannot stand is stretched bikes. Now, I understand that, there is a function to it, especially if you're on a track strip. But man, if you're doing that on the street, it just looks absolutely hideous. Now, I know style is, subjective. Everyone has their taste. But honestly, I don't get the hype behind it, for a street bike at least. The only good thing about a stretch bike is that you can go really fast in a straight line. Turning on it is going to be extremely difficult. Overall, just the cost and the maintenance to keep it running, safely is also another thing. I feel like a stretch bike is the same concept as like a slammed car, like you can achieve a certain look, sure, but like on a functional standpoint, it just creates a lot of headache. I think they're kind of goofy for the street. If you want to have a stretch bike for the track, that's fine, but I mean, on the street, I just don't think it has any good purpose. It just makes everything complicated for no reason. Moving on to the third thing I can't stand is raised handlebars. Like, my goodness, why do you need to ride your bike with your hands higher than your head? This is more so for the Harley riders or the cruisers. You don't really see that happening with sport bikes, but I just don't understand it. Like, I don't get the appeal. I don't think it serves any good purpose either. Like, riding like this is already like straining on my arms, but imagine lifting your hands way high in the air. I can only imagine the steering capabilities are going to be extremely skewed. I don't think it really affects the geometry of the bike all that much just because the wheelbase is not being affected, but when your handlebars are so high, I feel like the way you turn or the way you try to, lean, it just feels kind of off. Obviously, people do it for, style over function, but I don't really get the appeal of it. I just think it looks a little corny. But yet again, you know, car guys and bike guys, we just do things just to be goofy sometimes. And I don't know, maybe that's just the style that is cool to them. And if you have raised handlebars and a stretch bike all in one, oh my goodness, what an atrocity. The next thing on the list is LED strips. I don't think RGB or LED strips are a bad thing. If you do it tastefully, I think it can look pretty cool, but it's those guys that go overkill with the rainbows and the crazy flashing lights. It just starts to look very middle school vibes to me, you know? It's kind of like having LED strips in your room with the exposed LEDs on the borders. I think it looks a little bit overdone. But when you do the whole RGB, every color of the spectrum on every aspect of the bike, I think it just looks like a whole load of doo-doo. And the funny thing is, the people who actually put all those LEDs on their bike tends to be the older people. Like, it's strange. I don't know why. Like, I would assume it would be a younger rider that would like put LEDs on their bike, but a lot of times that I see those kind of bikes, it's always an older rider, like someone in their 30s or, you know, 40s, kind of like a hipster dude who's like trying to fit in with the younger kids, you know, trying to be the cool dude, the cool dad. I mean, good for them if they're, you know, happy, enjoying their lives doing that, but for me, I just feel like it's a little corny. It's a little like immature of a modification, so to speak, you know? Like I said, I don't think LEDs are bad. LED strip, you use it in the right way. Less is more, so to speak, you know? It's nice to be minimal versus being overkill. Now the next and final modification, which I gotta say I'm quite embarrassed to talk about because I am a very big victim to this one. Fake carbon fiber bearings. My gosh, if you guys been following my channel for a while, I had a Yamaha R3 2021 and I made a video where I completely swapped out a lot of the fairing pieces for fake hydro dip carbon fiber. And at the time, you know, I was a little bit of a more amateur, more newer rider, and I wanted to look cool, I wanted to look tough and put, you know, carbon fiber on my bike. But if you're gonna do carbon fiber, you gotta do it right. You gotta actually get real carbon fiber, because at that point you're just putting stickers on your bike. Carbon fiber just looks really tacky and it just looks cheap, and I feel like it kind of adds a little bit of a wannabe kind of look to your bike. I'm not completely opposed to, you know, fake carbon. You know, I have some fake carbon vinyl on my car and whatnot. Like, I think that's fine, but when you overdo it where every component is fake, it just feels really cheap and tacky. Just keep it real, don't get fake stuff. You know, that same concept applies to the whole exhaust thing I talked about earlier. Just get the real thing. And if you're absolutely anal on getting fake carbon, I just suggest getting a vinyl wrap for that. You know, just buy a roll of vinyl for like 30 bucks and you can wrap your bike in carbon or wrap some small components in carbon instead of getting the actual hydro dip stuff, because for one, it doesn't look good. For two, that stuff actually peels. You know, over time, hydro dip carbon fiber actually starts to like yellow, it starts to crack, it starts to fade, and just looks really bad. The carbon fiber, you know, pattern style to vinyl wraps, they actually last a lot longer. They don't really, you know, deteriorate as much, and they're cheaper. So, you know, I highly suggest if you're gonna do fake carbon, just get the vinyl instead of getting, you know, hydro dip stuff. Yeah, anyways, that has been the video. It was a fun little, you know, chill ride. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.